Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is good afternoon. I'm Steve.
And I'm Scott.
Together, we're Backyard Musings, broadcasting live at Phthalate, California.
And Science and Technology Channel. And happy pre-day Mother's Day to all you mothers
That's
out there.
right. Yeah, happy Mother's Day. Yes, good job.
Hope you have a great day.
Yeah, good call. All right, a new analysis of global population data suggests that daily exposure to certain chemicals used in plastic household products may be linked to over 356,000 deaths from heart disease in 2018 alone.
So that was pre-COVID.
Yeah, pre-COVID. The study focuses on phthalates, phthalates.
Okay.
Phthalates, a group of chemicals widely used to make plastics more flexible. Like PEX, in your
polybutylene is a very flexible. Like it will, and PEX, yeah, polyethylene, cross-linked polyethylene will. The advantage of that is not to get into a plumbing thing, but it will freeze. The liquid inside will freeze, but the pipe will not break. It'll expand and contract.
Yeah.
It has a memory. So
besides the heart disease death, that's the silver lining, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, but the problem is the fittings when you put that stuff together. So,
yeah, the fittings don't expand.
They crack and break. So anyway,
while these substances are found worldwide, regions such as the Middle East, South Asia, East Asia, and the Pacific accounted for approximately 75% of the total deaths linked to phthalate exposure. A report on the findings was recently published in the journal Lancet, eBiomedicine, on April 28, 2025. Would you like to know more? I would.
Okay, here we go. Phthalates have long been associated with various health risks found in everyday products like cosmetics, cleaning agents, plastic packaging, piping, and insect repellents. They can break down into microscopic particles that enter the body through ingestion or inhalation.
Gee whiz.
Yeah, not good. Research has linked phthalate exposure to conditions including obesity, diabetes, reproductive problems, and certain cancers. So what else is there?
That's right? A Thursday, right?
Yeah.
This study, led by researchers at NYU Langone Health, specifically examined di-2-ethylhexyl phthalate, and it's DEHP, we'll call it DEEP, a common phthalate used in food containers, IV tubing, and PEX, like you said, and other flexible plastics. Prior to research has shown that DEEP can trigger chronic inflammation on the arteries, which over time may lead to heart attacks or strokes.
Yeah, so one of the plastic things that you might be familiar with is when you try to open up your package of potato chips or cereal, the plastic liner that's in there and it stretches.
Yeah, that's really?
Yeah,
that's
like
deep.
It's a poly material. So it's a pain, right? Got to get out the blade or the scissors or whatever and cut it. So yeah. In their new analysis, the authors estimated that DEEP exposure contributed to 356,238 deaths, or more than 13% of all global mortality from heart disease in 2018 among the men and women ages 55 through 64. So that's a tough age, right?
Yeah,
that's when things really start to go south.
Quote, by highlighting the connection between phthalates and leading cause of death across the world, our findings add to the vast body of evidence that these chemicals present a tremendous danger to human health, said study lead author Sarah Hyman, BS, an associate research scientist at NYU Grossman School of Medicine. They should talk to RFK about this.
Well, I'm sure he's probably all over
He's tracking it?
Yeah, I'm sure he's all over that stuff. According to the authors, the resulting economic burden from the deaths identified in their study was estimated to be around $510 billion and may have reached as high as $3.74 trillion. In a past study from 2021, the research team tied phthalates to more than 50,000 premature deaths each year. Yeah, mostly from heart disease among older Americans. So how did they know that if that was premature? If they had a heart disease already? I don't know.
Average?
I guess. Yeah. AI? I don't know. Their latest investigation is believed to be the first global estimate to date of cardiovascular mortality or indeed any health outcome resulting from exposure to the chemicals, says Hyman, who is also a graduate student at the NYU School of Public Global Health.
Maybe she's going to try and work for the WHO. the World Health Organization.
Yeah.
For the research, the team used health and environmental data from dozens of population surveys to estimate deep exposure across 200 countries and territories. The information included urine samples containing chemical breakdown products left by the plastic additive. Mortality data was obtained from the Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation, a research group in the U.S. that collects medical information worldwide to identify trends in public health.
Among the key findings, the study showed that losses in the combined region of East Asia and the Middle East and the combined regions of East Asia and the Pacific accounted respectively for about 42% and 32% of the mortality from heart disease linked to DEEP. Specifically, India had the highest death count at 103,587 deaths, followed by China and Indonesia. The larger heart death risks in these populations held true even after the researchers adjusted their statistical analysis to take into account population size within the studied age group.
Sorry, it's just bugging me. You probably been watching me.
You're going to end up on YouTube.
You've been watching me do this. My nose is going
Don't
crazy.
leave any hangers in that
Must be
false
pollen out
mace
here.
stash.
It's not false. It's real, man. Look, it's real.
It's your Whitsack mustache. So.
A possible explanation the authors say is that these countries face higher rates of exposure to the chemicals, possibly because they're undergoing a boom in plastic production, but with fewer manufacturing restrictions than other regions.
Quote, there is a clear disparity in which parts of the world bear the brunt of heightened heart risks from phthalates, says the study senior author Leonardo Transande, MD, MPP, which I have no idea what that means. Quote, our results underscore the urgent need for global regulations to reduce exposure to these toxins, especially in areas most affected by rapid industrialization and plastic consumption, end quote, added Transande. The Jim G. Hendrick, MD, professor of pediatrics at NYU, Grossman School of Medicine, which we've talked about them before, right?
Yeah.
They contributed a lot of these studies.
Transande, who is also a professor in the Department of Population Health, cautions that the analysis was not designed to establish that DEEP directly or alone caused heart disease, and that higher death risks did not take into account other types of phthalates, nor did it include mortality among those in other age groups. As a result, the overall death toll from heart disease connected to these chemicals is likely much higher, he says.
Transande says that the researchers' next plan to track how reductions in phthalate exposure may over time affect global mortality rates, as well as to expand the study to other health concerns posed by the chemicals, such as preterm birth. Transande also serves as director of NYU Grossman School of Medicine's Division of Environmental Pediatrics and the Center for the Investigation of Environmental Hazards. So
so this is no joke, yeah?
Yeah, so this is going to be, this is going to get a couple of those groups involved, right? The environmental groups, and then the people that are anti-oil, because plastic is a oil product, petroleum product. So, but what do we have an alternative? Like
goat bladder.
It's like fuel. We do not have an alternative to take the place of fuel or petroleum products in the world right now.
Let's use goat bladders for like the cereal containers.
Well, yeah, but how many goats are there going to be? How many boxes of cereal do they sell in a year?
Maybe they start using reusable goat bladders.
Okay, that would be good for the goat, I guess. Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to eat my cereal from a goat. And I eat a lot of cereal. I used to anyway.
You like milk? Ice cold milk.
It's got to be ice cold, yeah. If there's ice floating in it, that's even better. So. But yeah, so cereal, that's we got several boxes of cereal in our home, and
Cameron likes cereal too.
I'll eat cereal morning, noon, and night.
Yeah.
So anyway,
all right, folks. Wish we had some better news to tell you, but that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, watch your plastic intake.
Yeah.
So take care, everyone.
Thanks.